like you?
No, I wouldn't say we made a statement in any way. And it was for us a really poor performance that everyone will be really frustrated with. But there are elements to the performance that ultimately get us over the line and get us a good point at a very difficult place to come against a team that is flying very high with a lot of confidence and has obviously struck a better balance than we might have expected in terms of how the team looked tonight, and they were fairly strong all the way through. So I feel like whilst it is one of those performances that will be ruining a lot of how we use the ball, we'll be really frustrated with ourselves in terms of the just the number of easy giveaways and unforced errors that led to the performance feeling like it lacked uh, any fluency whatsoever. I have said to the players at the end that if you're coming to a place like this at the moment and you're not going to win, don't lose and don't concede. And the way in which we saw the game out, the willingness, discipline, energy, fight, all the words that characterize this team, you saw that. So whilst it certainly wasn't a performance that I will be writing home about, and in no way was it a statement. It's a very good point on the road, and I'm sure over the course of the coming weeks and months, we will look back at this as a really important one.
What do you sort of chalk up those passing problems to?
No, I'm not going to make excuses on behalf of the players here because number one, they wouldn't want me to, and they will be. We're a very inward-looking team when it comes to that sort of stuff. But it's a very difficult pitch to play on, and I think when you're not in the habit of playing on that type of pitch, it does take its toll. Even relative to turf pitches, it doesn't play well, and I find that for us, it felt like we were very nervy on the ball, and as a consequence of being nervy on the ball, we played passes that almost shirked responsibility to an extent. We played easy passes down the line that almost you can almost guarantee you're going to get intercepted or put the player that receives the ball in a really tricky position. We weren't nearly brave enough to go back inside the pitch and switch. And it was just so stark the moments at which we did do that, and we showed the composure to find the middle or take the extra pass across the back and get inside their shape. We had some relatively good moments. We always lacked the final pass, and we were really sloppy around the top of the box. And I don't think threatened in any meaningful way. But I think the root of the lack of fluency was exactly that. It was just almost a shirking of responsibility when it comes to how we use the ball in the middle third. So not pretty food for thought in terms of how we move forward and the messages that we really push. But again, I stress that points on the road in the MLS, particularly against the top teams, are not easy to come by. So I have to be balanced in how I evaluate that for sure.
How did you try to change the play with bringing on Tanny at halftime?
Yeah, and that's probably a point to make as well. We've really tried to make sure the team looked different and felt different at various points in the game when we felt like we weren't getting any momentum. We obviously lacked the fluency in the first third to be able to break their pressure well and turn the ball over very cheaply, particularly on the right hand side. So I felt like the points at which we were slightly more direct. We were slightly more aggressive with how we used the ball. We looked better. We looked more comfortable. Tanny obviously feeds that. Tanny's athleticism, ability to stretch the pitch, ability to cause real problems in the more chaotic moments of the game are always an edge for us. And I felt like it did open the game up to an extent. And then we wanted to balance that with how we use Julian. Julian is more of a passer than Bongi. He's gonna use the ball in a more measured, more balanced way, and he's gonna try and get back inside the pitch. Bongi is obviously he's a winger playing there, very direct winger, a 1v1 winger that wants to attack and plays at a really high rhythm. So I wanted the team to feel very different after half time, of course, and it's not necessarily a reflection of Rob nor Bongi being any worse than any of the other players on the pitch, and I made that very clear. And then once we got past the first 12 minutes of the second half, it didn't feel like we'd really progressed in any meaningful way in terms of the overall performance, and I felt like Owen and Ant came on, and I would say they also added. So I think the second half was certainly more balanced. It felt like it was more open for the good and bad in our case, but yeah, the step forward from half time was important, and I'm glad that we certainly for the middle period of the second half looked like a team that could compete on an even keel with them.
Vancouver fouled Joaquin Pereira about 7 or 8 times. As he starts to take more notice, is he going to have to learn to sort of play through that kind of treatment from opposing teams?
Yeah, I think he had a tricky night, Joaquin, for that for um the use of the ball around the top of the box. We're now so accustomed to Joaquin being so clean and the root of a lot of the good stuff we do around the top of the box. And I felt like we were just missing that precision around in those situations today. And obviously a lot of the good stuff that we do has Joaquin at its root. And I think the fact that he wasn't able to get much rhythm, much continuity on the ball for lots of fouls, which I felt like were sort of eventually punished with a yellow card. And I'm not normally one that picks up on that sort of stuff, but certainly I felt like that could have happened far earlier, and it would have given Joaquin a much better platform to play on. But he's obviously a marked man for a reason, and we've got to find ways of making sure that we have other tools at our disposal when we attack the box, because the opposition is certainly making it difficult for him.
What did you like about how you guys defended Brian White when he came on?
Yeah, I think we defended the box really well. I don't think for the sort of the rhythm and the momentum that they had as they're attacking their end toward the end of the game, I don't think we gave up huge, clear-cut chances. And I think we showed that side of our game that we do so often, which is a real determination to keep the ball out of the net. It's no surprise that we are where we are when it comes to clean sheets over the course of the year. I think that will certainly take us to top of the table across all 30 teams, which is really impressive. And that points to the players' mentality. It points to the connection that the back line has. It points to the level of communication. It points to how, as a team, from top to bottom, we make ourselves really difficult to beat. And I think it's a really important characteristic when you come to a team to play a team like this that's in such good form and such good rhythm. You know for sure you are going to be defending the box for certainly large spells of the game. So I think in that sense we showed that real grit and resilience that I love about this team.
Do you think this will end up feeling more like a point gain rather than a couple dropped?
Yeah, 100%. I think to be honest, it's frustrating to have drawn 2 games in a row, but I think there's elements of us feeling that way about the last 2 draws. And I think the thing with the table at the moment is momentum is really important. It's really important that the teams around you aren't gaining any points on you through beating you, and we're holding up really well in that sense. And I made the point yesterday when we spoke that we're not unfortunately yet at the point where we're able to string successive wins for long periods of time. But what we are doing is proving that we are a very difficult team to beat, and we're not losing many games, which is so important. And we're really sticking it. We're sticking in there at the top of the table, which is a sign of a team that is certainly positioned with a really good platform to progress as the weeks and months and seasons go on. And that was I suppose us at our best in one sense, difficult to beat, hard to break down, very well organized, disciplined, aggressive, but at our worst in another.
Kelvin and Taney didn't have a shot, either of them. Obviously, you talked about service, but what can they do to kind of make themselves more available?
Yeah, again, I think they contributed significantly defensively, but as was characteristic of the team, had a tough night. I would say with use of the ball and how as a team around the top of the box we lacked precision, lacked detail, and as a consequence, more often than not, the combination play led to the ball being turned over as opposed to us when we are at our best. As you've seen over the course of the last month, there's been periods where in those exact situations with the same players, with the same distances and level of pressure from the opposition, we've been really good, and we've created some really good chances. We were obviously lacking that really clean link up play tonight from all players. So as a consequence of that, they suffered, and of course they played their part there, and they would be the first to say that.
I'm good, Andy, if you have any more.
Works for me. Thanks, Eric.
Cheers, guys. Speak next
Thank you,
week.
Eric.
Thank you.
Right. Andy, John, please.
Go ahead, John.
Michael, what were your thoughts on the performance tonight?
Not great. I think first half we were extremely flat, not a lot of energy. And then on the other side of that, I think Vancouver kind of plays a style at home where, like, it's similar to us, where they're stay compact, and then we just didn't do a great job. We kind of played into the hands, just not moving the ball quick enough, not enough energy. But yeah, definitely a flat performance from us for sure.
on the other side, another clean sheet and keeping Brian White off the score sheet. How did you feel like you guys did defensively overall?
Um, yeah, I think we obviously we know our job on that side of the ball, and I think yeah, as the game went on, we kind of had to grind that one out. They had a few scary moments near and around our box, but both boys were kind of putting the bodies on the line to protect Dane's goal. So all in all, could be an important point, but I think yeah, when we come out flat on the road, it feels disappointing with a performance like that.
The previous game against Vancouver, everyone said that he came out flat in that one as well. What do you think it is that has caused those flat performances?
Um, I'm not sure. I don't think. I mean, tonight it's. I mean, Vancouver's always a difficult place to play. I mean, it's probably one of the worst turfs in the league. There's yeah, atmosphere isn't great, so it's one you have to get yourself up for. But I mean, it's our jobs to do this. So I think we yeah need to find ways to find that spark. I think even when we're trying to turn the game into going long and competing for second balls, I don't think we just the short 5 yard sprints to make sure we're in the spots to pick up second balls um and then just make runs so it makes things easier for whoever's on the ball. We just lack that tonight.
Uh, Once you brought on Tanny and Julian, you guys got more into the game. What do you feel like helped with those substitutions early in the second half?
Yeah, I think Julian was a good outlet for us. I think he's a smart player and he makes the right decision more times than not. And I think when we can play out through that side and we can recycle the ball a bit more and we have a few more passes higher up the field, then it helps us build a bit more momentum. But we just couldn't translate anything in the final third, really. I think, yeah, obviously Vancouver's proven they're yeah one of the best teams in the league and they're tough to break down. So yeah, we just have to be a bit sharper, a bit better. But yeah, we were just lacking a bit.
The team was promoting you for a spot in the All-Star game earlier today on social media. Are you ready for the extra attention of an All-Star push?
I want zero extra attention. Honestly, mid-season awards, yeah, it's not kind of why we play this game. I think, um, yeah, you want to be up for the awards at the end of the season. So we just need to keep pushing and make sure we're improving. And obviously, we've got a tough test on Sunday, so we've got to get ready for that one.
Speaking of Sunday, what's it going to take to for this club to get a win in Seattle?
I mean, defensively, we know our jobs, and yeah, obviously, it's always been tough at Seattle, but I think, yeah, we've kind of that same gutsy defensive effort, but then we need to make more of our chances off set pieces, and then obviously with the ball in the final third, just um keep rotate the ball long enough where we have enough time to get our wing backs up and get more numbers in the final third. Um, but yeah, obviously recover from tonight and make sure we're fresh to really give it a proper go on Sunday.
I'm good if you have any more, Andy.
Thanks, Boxy. Appreciate the time.
Good guys. Have a good night.
Appreciate it.